Okay, to finish up with what's called Kelish Malachta Leheted. So yesterday we were discussing about wind-up toys and the games, chess, checkers, all that stuff. Now, for instance, let's say you have binoculars, telescopes. I'm not talking about electric ones, digital ones. The same old simple binoculars or telescopes, all that are not Muktza at all. Because you're allowed to look through binoculars, you're allowed to look at the stars on Shabbos. It's not a problem. So that wouldn't be Muktza at all. Brooms is like this. Years ago, the brooms used to be straw brooms, if you remember, for those of you that are older. Used to be straw brooms, and then a lot of times they would break, and people would stick it back in. So the din was, in the olden times, it says you weren't allowed to sweep with brooms. Now, sweeping, you're not talking about outside on the dirt, because when you're sweeping, you're making holes. You're leveling holes in the ground. So you're not allowed to sweep and anything like that also. Now, if you have tiled floors, linoleum floors, so today's brooms, it's basically synthetic. They don't fall out. The bristles don't fall out, so you're allowed to sweep a tile floor, a linoleum floor, wooden floor. You're not allowed to sweep a carpeted floor, though, on Shabbos. Why is that? Because carpet is a material. Now, if there's dirt, a stain on the carpet, or dirt that's already inside the fibers of the carpet, and you sweep it, so then you have a problem with cleaning material on Shabbos. So wood is not a problem. Wood, vinyl, tile, like this floor, whatever, that's not an issue. It's not absorbing.
Any carpet? Any
carpet you can't sweep on Shabbos. Even they write these, we used to have them as kids. I don't know if people haven't. They're the manual carpet sweepers. Not electric ones, just the manual carpet sweepers. So they all write, those you're not allowed to use on Shabbos. Why? Because they have these brushes in them, but not only does it take up the loose dirt, it sometimes could clean the actual carpet itself. And that you wouldn't be allowed to do because it's material. So a carpet sweeper on this type of floor, linoleum, wood, is not a problem. The same thing with brooms.
Why is that considered as that you're taking bad thing from good thing? When you're a broom.
Let me ask you a question. Can you wash your hand on Shabbos?
Yes.
If your hand got dirty, okay? You made Kiddush, your hand now became full of wine. Are you allowed to wash your hand? Why? Aren't you taking away the dirt from the good? That's not called Vaad. Vaad is when things are mixed together, selecting things that are mixed together. The dirt is on the surface. It's like taking this siddur off from this shulchan is not Vaad, because it's not mixed together, it's on top of it. The dirt is on top of the body, so you're washing the hands. The same thing with all these things. It's not considered selection in any way whatsoever, it's just cleaning it. Now, aerosol sprays that you're allowed to use on Shabbos are not Muktza. So, for instance, room deodorizers, underarm deodorant sprays, not the stick deodorant that you're not allowed to use on Shabbos, mouthwash sprays, perfume sprays, hairspray, if you don't spray it on, but there are certain things you're allowed to spray hairspray on. You can't spray hairspray on a wig, even on your own hair. It depends if you form a shape with the hair, and then you spray the hairspray that it should stay in that shape. That's a question of bona, of construction on Shabbos. You're building a shape in the hair. But all these things, though, because you're allowed to use them, are not Muktza at all. It's a Kelish Malachta Leheted. But let's say you have deodorant, a stick deodorant that you're not allowed to use on Shabbos because you're scraping and smoothing the surface, like you're not allowed to use toothpaste on Shabbos. So toothpaste, not liquid, regular toothpaste, is Kelish Malachta Le'isser. You're not allowed to use it on Shabbos. So therefore it's a Kelish Malachta Le'isser. The same thing, stick deodorant, is a Kelish Malachta Le'isser. So you can only move it if you need the place. So you want to use something, do something permissible with it, which I don't know what you could do with it, but anyway. So all these things, again, would be keli shemalachta leheter. Now, another interesting thing, furniture is not Muktza, but artificial plants are not Muktza if they're synthetic, like silk flowers. Flowers that are not, plants that grow, you buy a plant in a potty, you buy a plant that's still growing, that's Muktza on Shabbos. It's completely Muktza on Shabbos. But if it's silk flowers or just regular flowers that are not growing anymore, they're already cut from the ground, so those are not Muktza on Shabbos at all. You can't put them into water on Shabbos for the first time. So if somebody comes to your house on Shabbos and brings you, they're very nice people, they bring you a bouquet of flowers, you cannot put them into water on Shabbos. You could just put them into empty vase or vase, whichever way you pronounce it. What?
So can you take, so you don't have mouthwash, can you just take some toothpaste and squeeze it into your mouth?
If you take some toothpaste straight from the thing and squeeze it into your mouth, that's allowed on Shabbos, because in your mouth there's no smearing, there's no problem with it. But that's a keli shemalachta le'isr, but you're using it for something permissible. But otherwise you couldn't use it only if you need the place, or otherwise you wouldn't be able to use it. Okay, now safety pins. I'm not going into all the halachos of the safety pins now. Are you allowed to use safety pins? You're not allowed to. There's a very big machlekes in halacha. We hold that you could use safety pins on Shabbos, which means even going in and out. Everybody says if you go in one side on each side, just one hole per side, that's your allowed, but then it doesn't do anything. But if you do two holes per side, so the way we hold you, basically you are allowed to do it on Shabbos. Many poskim hold you're not allowed to do it on Shabbos. But safety pins, because of that, are not Muktza. Because there is a way, according to all opinions, that you can use it on Shabbos, so it's not Muktza. Magnets are not Muktza. Toothpicks are not Muktza on Shabbos. Now, are you allowed to use the funny, are you allowed to toothpick your teeth on Shabbos? So it depends. If your teeth always bleed, then you're not allowed to, because you're for sure going to cause bleeding on Shabbos, which you're not allowed to. If your teeth sometimes bleed, sometimes don't bleed, then you are allowed to use toothpicks on Shabbos. Same thing with dental floss. Dental floss, you can't cut dental floss on Shabbos. But if you have, let's say, pre-cut dental floss, or those, those little green things, the little ones, whatever. So again, you're allowed to use dental floss on Shabbos, but if your teeth always bleed every time you use dental floss, then you're not allowed to do it, because you're causing your teeth to bleed. And it's for sure going to happen. It's secretion. So therefore you wouldn't be allowed to use that on Shabbos. Okay, then we're going now into keli shemalachta le'isr. But I just want to explain, we're going to go into more details with keli shemalachta le'isr. Again, that means vessels, its primary use is for something forbidden on Shabbos. So if you need a tzerech gufa u'mekaymei, if you need it for the place, or you want to do something permissible with it, you're allowed. It's not Muktza. But there's another category of Muktza that can apply to these things. And that is like this. It's called Muktza machmas chisorin kis. Muktza machmas chisorin kis means a person will not use it except for the usage it's designated for. They will not use it for anything else except for what it's designated for, and what's designated for is not allowed on Shabbos. Okay? To give you a simple example of that. A sheichet's knife. It's called a chalaf, right? The sheichet has a big knife that he shechts. Now you're not allowed to do shechita on Shabbos. So it's a keli shemalachta le'isr. But that is that's worse than a keli shemalachta le'isr. Nobody will take a sheichet's knife and cut a piece of cake with it. Nobody's going to take a moil's knife and cut a piece of cake with it. Why? It's too expensive, it's too precious. You have to make the knife, it's a whole, nobody's going to take a sheichet's knife and cut a piece of cake, or cut a piece of meat on your table with it. Okay? So then not only is it keli shemalachta, and what is its primary use? For shechita, which is forbidden on Shabbos. But it's not like a hammer that's also forbidden on Shabbos, but a hammer you won't hesitate to use for whatever, because it's not expensive, it's not going to ruin it. But therefore, things like that, we'll learn, there's a whole section on what's called Mukhtza for certain kids. So when we're learning Kiddush Shabbat, I'll give you another example. Somebody has a very expensive guitar or violin. Okay? I'm not talking about those little flutes that the little kids play with. That's that's Kiddush Shabbat le'isr, by the way. And now let's take a guitar or musical instruments, right? You're not allowed to play music on Shabbos. So a musical instrument, a guitar, violin, whatever it is a keli whose primary use is for something forbidden. Okay? So somebody has a very expensive guitar. Okay? They're not going to use it for anything else but playing music. It's not like a hammer, you'll use it for whatever. You know, you're not going to use a guitar to crack open a nut. I mean, you know, a guitar that's expensive, you're going to use only for playing music. So that is completely Muktza on Shabbos. You can't move it if you need the place. You can't move it to use something permissible, to prop up a book. It's completely Muktza. Okay, so now, let's go with the system of Kiddush Shabbat le'isr. So for instance, pots and pans are Kiddush Shabbat le'isr. What's a pot made for? To cook. Good.
Thank you.
Pot is made to cook. That's what it's made for. Some, like Pyrex are made to put into the microwave, but you also serve at the table with it. So that's completely not Muktza. But a pot and a pan, basically, pots and pans are made to cook in. So you're not allowed to cook in it on Shabbos. So therefore, a pot and a pan is Kiddush Shabbat le'isr. But if the pot has food in it, let's say you have a pot of soup, right? You cook soup before Shabbos, now you have the soup is on the blech or on the plate or whatever it is. Okay? So now there's soup in the pot. So the pot is completely bottled, it's nullified to the food. Food is not Muktza, so the pot is not Muktza. But if, let's say, you would have an empty pot, you cooked before Shabbos, you use your pots and pans, and then before Shabbos you washed them, you dried them, and you left them on your counter. So when Shabbos started, there was never food in them. So those are keli shemalachta le'isr. That means, let's say you just left it on the counter. You don't need the counter space. But you want to put it away, you're not allowed to. Because that's not tzedach gufay or mekaymei. You could. You could use, I'll give you another example. On Shabbos, you're not allowed to measure. You're not allowed to do measuring on Shabbos. So what happens if you have, these glass Pyrex measuring cups? Okay? So what is the purpose of that Pyrex? To measure. It's called a measuring cup. Its primary usage, you don't drink soda, you don't pour soda usually into that cup, into that glass. It's made to measure. Measuring is not allowed on Shabbos. So therefore, that is a Kiddush Shabbat le'isr. Okay? But what happens if somebody wants to pour soda in it to take a drink? Not to measure. That's called tzedach gufay. That you would be allowed to. Or you need the place, you can move it if you need the place.
Rabbi, the Moel carries a knife on Shabbos.
Because, but only for the bris. He can't afterwards start moving it around. Because you're allowed to do a bris on Shabbos. So for the bris, it's not Muktza.
Does he have to bring it before Shabbos, or he could carry it from his house to where he's going?
You mean if there's a native?
Yeah.
He could technically carry it on Shabbos, because then he's bringing it for the mitzvah. Better is halachically to bring it before Shabbos.
And then take it back home?
No. Then now it's Muktza. Now they're not. Yeah.